Who is the most overlooked character in Chapter 5? Bearing only one eye, a Huggy Wuggy button, covered in scars from being tortured by the prototype, this is the story of Giblet. Hey guys, Mr. OG here. In this video we'll be covering everything we know about the dog-like character, Giblet. Our story begins during the Hour of Joy. A Bobby Bearhug and Giblet are debating over what to do with a group of survivors that Giblet tied up. Giblet does not want to harm them because he believes they are innocent since they worked in the warehouse, and eventually the prototype shows up and tells Giblet he needs to kill them anyways.
Survivors? In there. He tied them up.
Why?
Because he's soft.
But this isn't... I can't. I just can't. You can. You have to.
Giblet refuses, and what happens next is debatable. Now, I usually save my perspective for the end of the video, but because the information is so crucial to his origins and the community seems split, I'll give my reasoning for my conclusions on the security log audio file.
But I never wanted this. Want is inconsequential. We agreed.
We do this
Together.
I believe that the prototype punished Giblet and took his eye for being non-compliant. There are others who believe the prototype forced Giblet to kill the survivors or watch them be killed. I believe the prototype at this point has become a cruel monster who doesn't tolerate failure, as we've seen him later turn Giblet inside out and even threaten Chum Chumpkins.
Nothing is more important to you than this, and you know the price for failure.
After the Hour of Joy, Poppy leads a rebellion against the prototype. At this time, Dowie is setting up the safe haven. A VHS tape from Chapter 4 titled Security Feed reveals an unnamed toy suffering an injury to his leg while trying to get supplies.
We were trying to bring supplies back up to the elevator, but we got jumped. Had to turn all the way back around. They took everything we had, right after one of them bit my leg!
Dowie decides to leave the unnamed toy in the hands of the safe haven doctor while he goes out to get supplies instead. This unnamed toy is heavily implied to be Giblet, as he has an injury to his leg and now walks with a cane. Not to mention the voice also sounds like him, but further confirming this theory, in Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, Giblet has a checklist in his room where he tracks all of his debts, and at the bottom of the list is the name Dowie, for, quote-unquote, that thing he did that one time. After Poppy gets captured, Giblet decides he's safer off at the Recycling and Reclamation Center than at the safe haven, and at some point gets turned inside out by the prototype, more than likely due to his continued defiance and his role in the rebellion. Over time, Giblet befriends Chum Chumpkins, who works as a mole in the prototype's army. One day, whispers begin to reach the labs about some sort of playtime butcher who took down Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, and Catnap. While out of his quarters, Giblet notices a wrong-side Audimal dragging someone to the furnace. Stepping in, Giblet shocks the Audimal with his cane and checks on the person, only to come face to face with the playtime butcher, or as we've previously known the name, the Player.
Take it off! You alright? You're not... You're the one they've been talking about! The one who put Mommy in the grinder? Who gave the cat a nap? Down here, they're calling you the Playtime Butcher.
En route to Giblet's hideout, the Player and Giblet are forced to hide as a prototype is patrolling the area. Giblet seemingly fearing for his life. After he passes, the two make it to Giblet's place, where he explains to the Player how he has plans after he escapes the factory and kills the prototype.
And I got plans anyway. I'm not gonna be down here forever.
Giblet tells the Player he doesn't dwell on the past, and overall, it seems Giblet's positivity has kept him sane over the years of torture. I would dare even say, charming.
He's stretchy, he's gummy, he's squishy, he's funny. D-O-E-Y. He's silly, he's gooey, he's... I don't know, he's something. D-O-E-Y.
Giblet sends a Player to get a grab pack from a Brawn, and when they reunite, Giblet has to calm down his friend, Chum Chumpkins, who has a hostile grip on the player.
Hey, that grabber looks good on you. This is Chum Chompkins, my guy on the inside. We, sort of look out for each other.
Giblet often translates for Chum, and their friendship seems to run deep, as Chum appears on his ode list as someone who is always giving and caring towards Giblet, even having his name near the top. Before disappearing again, Giblet tasks the player with finding some documents that are supposed to be the key to defeating the prototype. After acquiring the documents, Giblet learns of the negation formula being stored in a backup at the data center.
You can get us in there, right? No. What are you talking about, No? This is our chance. Well, we gotta try. Or are you just happy of being the prototype's errand boy now? Look, I'm sorry. You help us out and we're even. I mean it.
His mind is made up on taking a train there, but his thoughts are cut short as he skimpers away at the sound of the prototype, leaving Chum and the player by themselves.
Maybe we could risk Sweet Street to scrap.
Reappearing later after Lily Lovebraid's tea party, Giblet reunites with Poppy, both hardly able to recognize each other as they have suffered heavy physical damage from the prototype.
You're gonna be okay, Poppy. We'll find a way.
Giblet? Is that you? What did he do to you?
Giblet ends up giving an inspirational statement saying that, quote-unquote, the things they did to us doesn't have to be who we are, further elaborating on his unwavering positive moral compass.
The things they did to us, that doesn't have to be who we are.
After the player rendezvous with Giblet, Kissy, and Poppy at the train station, Huggy Wuggy has a heart-to-heart moment with Kissy Missy, and the prototype shows up to take them both down, cutting the reunion short. The player runs away as Giblet and Poppy board the train to begin its route towards the backup location. Giblet sets the train on a crash course and jumps off while heroically taking Poppy with him.
Yeah, I'm hurrying.
No, Giblet!
Got it! Now hold on!
He warns the player to lose the spider and jump, which the player does, and the train crashes with the prototype on it. The three glance over only to see an angry Experiment 1006 coming straight towards them. Ignoring Giblet, the prototype stabs the player and drops Poppy in a vat of poppy gel. Giblet only watches helplessly as he realizes the prototype never saw him as a threat. Giblet ends up using his electric cane to revive the player, and with his head hung low, believes he wasn't any help at all.
Poppy, I couldn't. He took her. Kissy is. I don't know. I don't. Look, I told you I wasn't a hero.
Once inside the data center, we reboot the system only to find Harley Sawyer rebooted along with it. Giblet glances around in shock, and this is when Poppy Playtime Chapter 5 comes to an end.
Well now, this is a rather interesting turn of events.
Alright, now I'm going to give my 2 cents on Giblet. Initially, during the gameplay launch trailer, I was mad that his design was so ugly, but now I hate that version of myself that even thought that, because this man Giblet has literally been living in trash. He's had an eye plucked out, he scavenges for food, and he's literally been turned inside out and walks on one leg. but stays relentlessly positive. I know he runs away at times or cowers in fear at the presence of the prototype, but can you honestly blame the guy? Every time he sees a prototype, he basically has a brush with death because he left Giblet in such a mangled state. I'd be avoiding him too, and running from him like at even the thought of him. He definitely has earned my respect, but we also get some symbolism as to who he wants to be from his cutout.
My name is, and I'm here to protect kids like you from all the scary things that go bump in the night. Hold on to me and keep both eyes on danger, okay? We'll get through this together.
Overall, I do feel for him. I also know he doesn't like looking at himself in the mirror, and that's why he has that poster of his former self in his room.
That's nothing. That's just a piece of trash I found.
This character is beautiful in every regard, especially his personality, and I can't wait to see his character development in the next chapter, as I know his craftsmanship will shine through and be a big help. I did forget to mention that he does seem extremely resourceful and keeps himself busy with his own projects in his room. I bet he'll even upgrade our grab pack in Chapter 6. Anyways, thank you for watching and checking out my channel. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to smash that like button, comment your favorite part, and even share it with a friend. This has been Mr. OG, signing off.